Almost 5 years ago, I did a video on Minecraft Classic where I played around with the old version of Minecraft that we're all used to from back in the good old days. I built a lighthouse, which looked okay, I guess, but in the last 5 years I will say that I have massively improved as a builder. I mean, where I used to build things like dirt huts or I guess this lighthouse, I can now build things like massive dragons that I'm really proud of, and I'm never going to let go that I ever did that. So I set myself a challenge. It's 5 years later, or well, nearing 5 years later. I open up Minecraft Classic and I give myself exactly 1 hour to build something better. The start of the hour was mostly used just getting myself familiar with all of the controls again, because it isn't quite as easy as it is in modern day Minecraft. While trying to find the open inventory button, I even found this button, which I don't know why it exists. This is my friend, his name is Glenn. Glenn and I then decided that we should probably start with making a big platform, something we can build something on top of, because, well, let's be honest, most of this world is water. So we did that, and it took an incredibly long time, since you have to press a button for every single block you place, instead of just very quickly filling this area in with dirt, as would be in modern day creative mode. I probably spent the first 15 minutes doing this. That is a quarter of the time I had. I then decided to check how tall the world is and what the top level is that we can actually place any blocks. We had a lot of grey, and since I personally really like dragons, and again that's the best build I've ever made, I had my mind set on building a dragon. But I found out we only had about 30 blocks to work with, so we decided the dragon should probably be laying down. For me, the best way to make an organic creature build is to start with the face and then just proportion the rest of the body according to it. I spent the first probably 10 minutes creating a jawline until I realized that this was really difficult, and I was already missing about half of the time I had, meaning I only have about 35 minutes to build the entirety of whatever I was gonna build, so I scrapped the entire plan. In hindsight, I probably should not have counted all of the setup time, like flattening the ground, as time for building the build, but oh well, we're doing this challenge anyways. I decided to be very creative and build a house, just because, again, I had grey blocks, I had a little bit of greenery, and most importantly, I had about 30 minutes left. The house I was building had to give a little bit of a abandoned vibe, which is, I suppose, canonically the reason why it doesn't have a door. Well, that and Minecraft didn't have doors. It also explains why it's dark, because it doesn't have any light. Yeah. I also wanted to use coal ore as one of the grey blocks, but then I noticed that it actually isn't in the inventory. Turns out Minecraft Classics has blocks that are coded into the game that I cannot actually use, because that makes sense. Not important, let's just continue building the framework of the house. Luckily we have plenty of time. We have 25 minutes, yep, okay, 25 minutes to build the entirety of a house where building actually takes a lot longer. This house is not gonna have an interior, I have decided, just then. Fun fact, even though we are technically playing creative mode, this creative mode does not actually have any flying, because, you know, obviously, the idea of humans flying by their own propulsion is a very new invention. Not possibly to be encoded into this game. No. Here you have the very first sneak peek of how dark everything is going to be. Apparently, having a block somewhere in the air instantly makes every single block under it in dark shadows, which I am sure is not going to cause a huge issue with building this build later on. Once the building was high enough, it was time to put a roof on it. You know, it's actually going somewhat decently well. We are already working on a roof and we have about 10 minutes left. That actually, I mean, it sounds really scary, but that I feel good about that. I'll just say it. The roof is really ugly. We have been absolutely pampered using things like stairs and slabs and block variation to make interesting shapes to roofs. And right here, the only thing I really have to use is cobblestone. I am going to make as much of a slanted roof as I possibly can make. it is giving me a little bit of the feeling like Minecraft has gone a bit soft on us. I guess what you should remember is, as much as Minecraft is not necessarily always adding the things that the community asks for, it used to be worse. I mean, we generally have gotten a lot of things that make our life so much easier, and yeah, this game has turned from a game where you can build to a building game. After finishing the roof and filling in all of the walls, it was time for detailing. So we started off with a bunch of bushes in the front side. I will be honest, I would have preferred if the bushes were a little bit less saturated to give it more of a creepy vibe, but it definitely adds to the build. Then it was time for block variation. Remove all of those grey blocks and put in a nice little gradient from the darkest greys at the bottom to the lightest greys at the top. The front side went over super fast, and we have still plenty of time to do the back side. Oh, front side it is. Okay. I did not... I forgot to keep track. Alright, let's take a look at this beauty. Oh yeah, that is something. I probably prefer the lighthouse, I'm not going to lie. But you know what, it is really difficult to build in classic Minecraft. I genuinely challenge everybody to do the same thing. Build something in classic Minecraft within an hour without breaking blocks. I know that I broke blocks, I just would like to win the competition. Anyways, let's retry this in another 5 years or so. Alright, see you then.